candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather around the table, we'll give you a treat. Seviv olim to play with and lots of sweets. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hey!
Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I am doing a Hanukkah themed apartment build. If you're interested in this build, you can download it off of the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. So this ended up being a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom sort of family style apartment, and it's on the 121 Hakeem House lot. So if you've never downloaded an apartment from the gallery, it's like basically made it into one giant room, and so you just bulldoze the apartment lot and then you download it from the gallery and you'll place it, and you kind of have to put it in the right spot because otherwise it'll clip some of it, but then it's good to go. You just kind of have to do this trick with deleting half of the wall and then dragging it so that you don't actually make a room. So the whole thing is one room. It's really complicated, and I honestly still to this day don't know why the Sims team didn't just make an option for sharing apartments. It was a weird call. I don't get it. But anyways, that's not really the point of this build. The point of this build is today is the last day of Hanukkah, and I can't believe I managed to get this build out in time. I literally started it yesterday, which is today. I mean, as I'm recording this, but so I was really impressed, and I have a final tomorrow, so you guys know I must love you. But anyways, so just a disclaimer, I am not Jewish. I don't really have any family that are Jewish. I mean, I think my dad's grandmother was Jewish, but nobody else in like my immediate family is a practicing Jew. So if anything is wrong, I blame the internet. Well, blame me, but I did try and do a little bit of research going into this house, and I've done this, this is my 3rd year in a row doing it, and I feel like every time it gets, I feel like I get a little bit closer to being accurate, I guess, but, because the first one didn't even have a kosher kitchen. I don't know what I was thinking, but I do have a kosher kitchen, which is a division of, dairy products and meat products. And this time around, I actually learned, where was it? I learned that there's a word that just means neutral. Oh gosh, I was sure I wrote it down. I guess I didn't. But it was was it? No. Okay, that's definitely not it. I just saw the word rabbit and I was like, oh, maybe that's it because it's not spelled correctly. And that was definitely not it. I'm just going to move on because I feel like a numbus. So, oh my gosh. Anyways, I did find it interesting though. If you're vegetarian, it makes it a lot easier to be kosher because you don't have to worry about the cross-contamination with meat. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. This time around, I did try and focus a little bit more on mezuzahs, which are kind of, they're little containers that you place by the door on the right-hand side, and they have little verses from the Torah. And I was more kind of looking into the meaning of them or why they do that. And it's sort of to bless the home, the living space, and to make it more sacred. And it's not supposed to be a protective sort of measure, as from what I read. It's more of just a, bless this space. So I thought that was interesting. It's traditionally placed on the outside of the door that you're entering. So you'd place it on the right of outside your front door. But because this is apartments, in The Sims, I can't put anything outside the apartment. And so I thought in some ways that's actually kind of realistic because you can't always place the mezuzah where you want it to. And so there's tons of little rules that you can look up and figure out what the best place to put it is if you can't put it in the right spot. And so in this case, you can put it on the inside of the doorway, but it has to be within 3 inches. I was unclear if it was supposed to be on the right or the left side once it's inside, so I just put it on the right side if you were coming from the outside. It was a little confusing. It was a little confusing, I couldn't tell. But I also found it really interesting that apparently it's becoming more common to place a secondary mezuzah lower down in more public spaces like synagogues, or just in households where one of the residents is in a wheelchair and unable to reach high enough to touch the mezuzah on the way in. So you're supposed to put them higher up, but they are now kind of like a secondary one down below, which is, I thought that was pretty cool. They're supposed to go outside of every single doorway into like a room, and there's like certain size requirements, and so you don't have to put them for closets or laundry rooms or bathrooms. But I read somewhere that if a crawl space is big enough, you should put one there. And I was a little, I was like, okay. I think there would be some debate. I feel like if you weren't to put one by your crawl space, I don't think, it would be that big of a deal. But I did think it was interesting that there was a little bit of debate on that. I mean, there's debate over everything, but I found that pretty cool. So I tried, when I do the Hanukkah houses, especially because it's not my religion, it's not my culture, because there can be a difference between being culturally Jewish and religiously Jewish, because a lot of people who aren't religious still want to embrace that culture, especially if they grew up in it. So since I'm neither of those, I try not to make the house a caricature. I try not to dump all of the dreidels, and I try not to put a menorah in every single window. I try and make it feel more realistic, especially because I feel like decorating for Hanukkah is not to the same level as a lot of people decorate for Christmas. I could be very wrong, and always feel free to correct me down below, because the disclaimer has been said multiple times, but but so, I tried to make it kind of low key, but I do like to go with the sort of blue and white color scheme. And then I accented it with some dark floors. And this time around, I actually used some really light tan woods, just because there are some really pretty ones in the new furniture set we got from Get Famous. And that's like a mid-century modern. And so I thought it just looks so cute in city living, like in the apartments. So that's what I decided to go with there. Also, this build ended up with like 3 desks, and I ended up taking away a computer because I thought it was a little ridiculous, but 3 desks, and I don't know why there were so many desks. Here are the mezuzahs that I'm kind of trying to place correctly. I'm honestly not sure if I got them quite right. But like when I was like realized how many desks I put, I was like, who wants this many desks in their home? And then I was like, I do, because I remember ages ago I did a dream home build, and I literally had like at least 2 desks, and honestly I should have put 3, because like, what if I really think about it, in my dream home I'd have a desk for like fun computer stuff, like The Sims and things. I'd have one for like work and schoolwork, and then I'd have one for crafting. Anyways, that's now you guys know that Penelope really likes desks. So I placed a total of 2 menorahs. I placed one in front of the window here, and then I placed one on the dining room table. And the added bonus of placing on the dining room table is it's pretty close to the door, and because there's a little bit of glass in the door, you can see it from the outside. And so after I placed the menorah near the window, and I had completely finished the build, I was reading a little bit more, and apparently they don't necessarily recommend you put a menorah near the window if you're above 30 feet. And this is an apartment that's definitely above 30 feet, so it was a little superfluous since it's kind of hard to see. It's supposed to be able to be seen from like street level, but I think it's fine. And like, I'm sure there's like tons of different rules and variations, but I just tried to like get all the information I could to incorporate it into the build and just have fun with it. And it was kind of exciting because there's a fair amount more of Hanukkah items, because we had Seasons come out a couple months ago, and so they have at least, they have one Hanukkah swatch for like basically every item that came out. And I was kind of like, oh, I wish there had been a couple more, like it was really fun. And like there's like a hanging card thing, and then there's like these cards that are sitting up, and they're all the same 3 cards. And so I was kind of like bummed because there are more Christmas cards than Hanukkah cards. But I don't, honestly, maybe that's not even a thing. I'm not really sure if people send out Hanukkah cards like my family sends out Christmas cards every year. We have to take a group picture. It's become a lot more chill now. We don't try and color coordinate any of our clothes. And basically this year it was at Thanksgiving, and we're like, okay, we're all together, go. And like the most exciting thing about it was my brother's new fiance was in the picture. So that was really exciting. But yeah, oh my gosh, Hanukkah came so early this year. It started on December 2nd and went to December 10th, which is why I honestly wasn't quite sure if I'd be able to get a Hanukkah build out. I think I didn't think I'd get one out at all because I'm leaving to go home to a place without my desktop in like a week. So builds, I'm not quite sure what's happening this month, but yeah, so I did manage to get this out. I don't think I've sacrificed any of too much of my studying time. I did most of this on breaks. I do have like I said, I have a final tomorrow, but one of my classmates found this meme. I'm in graduate school, and they found this meme, and it was a picture of, the first one is of a guy crying, and it says, "Me in undergrad when I barely passed the test." And then the next picture is the guy like partying, and it's like, "Me in graduate school when I just barely passed the test." It's like the attitude is completely shifted. And it's like, not like we don't study hard or we don't care. It's just, oh my gosh, it's not even that the content of my course is really difficult. It's just the amount. There's so much. Like for this final I have tomorrow, we had like, I think 400 slides. And luckily the teacher narrowed it down to more like 150. That's still a lot of information. And I've been like making like note cards and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, the build's almost done. I hope you guys really enjoyed this build. If you did, feel free to give me a like, a comment, or subscribe, especially if you like to be notified. I wish you guys all a happy Hanukkah and whatever else you celebrate. And if not, I wish you a happy December. I will see you guys next time. Bye.